All right, hey, peace and two, what's up, y'all? D Prime 215 here. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to yours truly. So, I know it's been a little bit since I last did a prediction video, but nonetheless, here we are right back at it. Coming up at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 17 pay-per-view, we had the match between Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. So, these two have some history. They last wrestled each other in a singles match in a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. That was a long time ago. I forget the year, but it was a long time ago. And more recently, they wrestled each other not in a singles match, but in a trios match for the AEW Trios Tag Team Championship tournament. So they have some history as far as being in the ring with each other, and they do have a rivalry. Is it kayfabe or not? I honestly don't know, and frankly, I don't really care if it is kayfabe or not. But what I do know is these two have the potential to have the match of the night at Wrestle Kingdom 17. So, who do I think is going to win? Will Ospreay or Kenny Omega? In a static world, it would go either way, and I'll be very upfront with you. I want Will Ospreay to retain. I don't want him to drop the belt to Kenny Omega. However, I think Kenny Omega is going to win. Why do I think Kenny's going to win? So, just take away all like the talent that these two men have, right? Kenny, he's with AEW. AEW has, United States on lock in comparison to New Japan. So, depending on how New Japan wants to move, I do think they still want to, get as much of the U.S. market as they can. And putting the belt on Kenny Omega, who can appear for, represent with, the New Japan, gold on AEW, that would be a great move. It's not that different from how, New Japan kept the belt on Jon Moxley. Granted, that was a different situation altogether, but, the belt being on Moxley brought more eyes to, New Japan. So I feel like from a business standpoint, it makes a lot more sense to put the belt on Kenny Omega. And it seems like in a lot of cases, New Japan tends to go with like a business-minded approach in regards to their expansion. So off of that alone, I think Kenny Omega is going to win. This situation reminds me slightly of Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho, but that match back at, was that Wrestle Kingdom 12 or something like that maybe? That was a bit more of a foregone conclusion because Jericho was obviously not leaving with the U.S. Championship because he was still with WWE. But, similar situation like an outsider coming in, even though Kenny Omega has, a history with New Japan. He made his name in New Japan, even though he didn't leave New Japan in the cleanest way, despite being the cleaner. Yes, that was a pun. I couldn't help it. He still has his history there. So, I'm interested to see how this match goes. Once again, I think it could be the match of the night. It'll be cool or interesting to see Kenny Omega come out, not to, his Devil Sky music, but probably, most likely will be his AEW theme music playing, or perhaps they do some sort of a homage to it, do a remix, a special intro, something like that. So we'll see what happens. Once again, as much as I want Will Ospreay to win and retain, and I do think Will Ospreay, as of right now, is a better wrestler than Kenny Omega, I would not be surprised to see, the belt go on Kenny Omega. So who do you guys think is going to win? Do you think Kenny Omega, the cleaner, best bout machine, whatever nickname he's using now, I don't even know if he really calls himself the cleaner anymore, or do you think Will Ospreay is going to retain? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to yours truly, D Prime 215. And the only thing I say is this: if Kenny Omega wins, please don't let it be because Will Ospreay, storyline wise, got too hyped and he was doing V triggers and attempted to do a one wing angel. Please don't let it be something like that. Not that I really have any influence on how the match turns out, but if he does lose, just let him lose on some regular stuff. I don't want to get, I don't need the Kenny Omega 2.0 impersonation stuff going on. So with that being said, we'll see what it's sent for Wrestle Kingdom 17. And, may the best man win. I want Ospreay to retain, but it's probably going to go to Kenny. All right? Peace.